Josephus recorded in Wars of the Jews that all the precise details Jesus foresaw for Jerusalem did indeed come to pass. Titus ordered his soldiers to build a wall round about the whole city. Titus, like Jesus, saw the encircling of the city as an event sanctioned by God, who inspired his soldiers with a divine fury. Josephus also recorded that Titus did not merely burn Jerusalem and defile its temple, but ordered that they should be left exactly as Jesus has foreseen, with not one stone upon another. Titus gave orders that they should now demolish the entire city and temple. Jesus stated that these calamities would befall Jerusalem's inhabitants because they did not know the time of your visitation. The coming visitation was to be made by someone he called the Son of Man, a title used by the prophet Daniel for the Jewish Messiah. While it has been universally believed that Jesus was referring to himself when he used the expression the Son of Man, he usually spoke of this individual in the third person and not as himself. Jesus repeatedly warned the Jews that during the visitation of the Son of Man, various disasters, like those he foresaw above, would occur. Be on the alert, therefore, for you do not know the day on which your Lord is coming. Therefore, you also must be ready, for it is at a time when you do not expect him that the Son of Man will come. Matthew chapter 24, verses 42 through 44. Watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour in which the Son of Man is coming. Matthew chapter 25, verse 13. Though Jesus did not say exactly when the visitation of the Son of Man would occur, he did state that he would come before the generation alive during his ministry passed away. So you also, when you see all these signs, may be sure that he is near, at your very door. I tell you in solemn truth that the present generation will certainly not pass away without all these things having first taken place. Matthew chapter 24, verses 33, 34. Jews of this era saw a generation as lasting 40 years, so Titus' destruction of Jerusalem in 70 CE or AD 70 AD fit perfectly into the time frame Jesus gave in his prophecy. However, while Jesus did accurately predict events from the coming war, there was a flaw in his foreknowledge. That is, that the person whose visitation actually brought about the destruction of Jerusalem was not Jesus, but Titus Flavius. If his prophecy did envision, as Eusebius and other church scholars have maintained, events from the coming war between the Romans and the Jews, then the Son of Man Jesus warned of seems not to have been himself but Titus, a point that has been overlooked by modern scholarship. There was little written between the 5th and the 15th centuries commenting on the numerous parallels between the events Josephus recorded in Wars of the Jews and Jesus' predictions. This is not surprising, as the Church is known to have actively discouraged scriptural analysis during this time. What evidence was left, however, suggests that during the entire Middle Ages, Christians viewed Josephus' depiction of the war between the Romans and the Jews as proof of Christ's divinity. Icons, carvings on caskets, and religious paintings from this era all portrayed the 70 Common Era destruction of Jerusalem as the fulfillment of Jesus' doomsday prophecy. The importance of Josephus' words to Christians during this period can also be gauged by the fact that some of the Eastern Christian churches of Syria and Armenia actually included his books as part of their handwritten Bible, in Europe as well. Following the invention of the printing press, Latin editions of the Bible included Antiquities and Wars of the Jews. Following the Reformation, scholars were able to record their opinions, and their writings show that they continued to view the relationship between the New Testament and the Wars of the Jews as proof of Christ's divinity. On the significance of 70 Common Era, for example, Dr. Thomas Newton wrote in his 1754 work, Dissertations on the Prophecies, as a general in the wars, Josephus must have had an exact knowledge of all transactions. His history was approved by Vespasian and Titus, who ordered it to be published. He designed nothing less, and yet, as if he had designed nothing more, his history of the wars of the Jews may serve as a larger comment on our Saviour's prophecies of the destruction of Jerusalem. Newton's position was the same as Eusebius. Both scholars believed that Josephus designed nothing less than to honestly record the war between the Romans and the Jews. The events that Josephus recorded seemed to be the fulfillment of Jesus' prophecy and did not strike them as in any way suspicious. On the contrary, they saw the relationship between the two works as proof of Jesus' divinity. They were in no way unusual in holding this view. It was held by the majority of Christian scholars until the end of the 19th century. They believe that Josephus' depiction of the destruction of Jerusalem proved that Jesus had seen into the future was largely forgotten during the 20th century. Only one denomination of Christians, the Preterists, still cites the parallels between Wars of the Jews and the New Testament as a proof of Jesus' divinity. Currently, most Christians either believe that the apocalypse Jesus envisioned has not yet occurred, or they ignore these prophecies altogether. As Christianity's third millennium begins, few of its members are even aware of the parallels that were once of such importance to the religion. However, I believe that Eusebius was correct in stating that when one compares Wars of the Jews to the New Testament, one must admit to a relationship that, if not divine, is at the least strange. The parallels between Jesus' prophecies and Titus' campaign do indeed seem too precise to have been the result of chance. If one accepts the traditional understanding that the New Testament and Wars of the Jews were written at different times by different authors, then the only explanation for the parallels would seem to be the one given by Eusebius, that they were caused by something truly divine. Of course, before accepting any phenomenon as miraculous, one should first determine if a non-supernatural explanation for it exists.